Hi there, this is Carl Irwin, the Common Magician, with another quick video, hopefully today, kind of a quicker one. I've got a deck of cards here, and it really doesn't matter what condition they're in. This could be a borrowed deck of cards in an impromptu sort of moment. And what we're going to do is very simple. What we're going to do is we're going to take the card, and I'm just going to place it right here on the table. Very carefully, just watch it. We're going to put another card leaning up against it on this side, and we'll hold that in place. And we'll place another card over here, leaning up against the other side. So we make sort of a structure. Everything should kind of stay still. And if you watch very closely, this is kind of an interesting phenomenon. We've got the card suspended in air. We can move it forward. We can move it backward. We can even move it the other way. We can even tilt this quite a bit, actually, give you a better view. Kind of an interesting little trick there. So that is a sort of a levitation suspension sort of effect that you can do with playing cards. So this is similar looking to an effect that's out in the market. Again, it was out on the market a while ago, and it's out again as a specific effect. You can actually find this on Gaten Blum's Penguin Live lecture from a number of years ago, where he tips this off on the lecture. And I highly recommend that you purchase the lecture over the effect itself. The name of the effect escapes my mind. This is not that. This is not that. This is actually a very old trick, just kind of dressed up a little bit. It requires cards, and then it requires, the original version of this requires one other thing, and that is a thumb tip. Now, what I'm doing is a little bit different, and you're all quite familiar with this use of a thumb tip. It's one of the more unorthodox uses of a thumb tip, is where you take the tip, you place it behind the card, you take the tip off with the card, and then you place it down so that the card can lean against the thumb tip. What I've done here is I'm using a different thumb tip. This is a very tiny thumb tip. It's really the tip of a thumb tip. It's a thumb tip that I've cut off just right below the nail, about a quarter-inch below the nail. And what I did is I added to this one little tab of sticky tape, double-sided tape, right here at the base of the pad of the thumb. And what that allows me to do is handle pretty freely. So the hardest part of this presentation was doing the overhand shuffle at the beginning. But what I do is I take the card, and I can place the tip at the base of the card, and then I can release it. I can grab it with my free hand over here, hold it in place, and it will stick to that sticky tape down at the base, so that it won't wobble or fall. I don't have to balance it against the thumb tip. I now have this base that's stuck on there quite sturdily. I can set it right down on the table, and then I can do whatever presentation I want to. I can maybe start by suspending the card with another card, and then I can actually knock one card down and it's still there. Now, the nice thing about this is, because it's so small, it's such a low profile, I actually can be fairly free with this. From behind, what I'm doing is I'm placing my thumb on the thumb tip, releasing the card, moving it ahead, and then rotating it, which means that this thumb tip, if I show you in front, what happens here is if I push down on the thumb tip, push forward on the card, and I have finger coverage over here, I can actually turn the card, and you'll never see the thumb tip underneath, and you won't see it over top because it's such a short profile. And then I can continue on suspending it on the side. I can even move it so that it's over on one corner, and that allows me to tilt it out and give a pretty sharp angle. So as long as I don't have someone sitting right there, I'm watching that angle, and my clearance for the thumb tip is shallow enough that they couldn't see the thumb tip across that edge. I can give kind of a canted angle to this. So you could do this for a little bit, and it's a very quick, easy cleanup. I just have to pick up the card, and I'm clear. I mean, there is nothing to find in this situation. I can actually be quite free with the tip itself. When I did the presentation at the end, I actually was able to do this because you can't really see past that edge on the tip looking at the onward view. And this is really quite open. So anyway, an unorthodox idea with a thumb tip. Either do this with a shortened thumb tip, or you could take a regular thumb tip, put the sticky tape on it, and that gives you a lot of security. If you have a larger thumb tip and you put a larger piece of tape on it, you might want to kind of put a little bit of lint on that so that it's just somewhat sticky, but not very sticky. That way it can be pulled off freely. But with a larger thumb tip, of course, you're going to have to watch your angles. But anyway, I'm going to try to do some videos here where we're looking at unorthodox uses for thumb tips, such that you could carry a thumb tip around and do a bunch of impromptu-ish things just using the thumb tip. So that's one idea. Thumb tip, little piece of sticky tape down there on the edge. You can do this, or you can have the shortened one. I have this shortened one actually for something else. I use this for another effect, which is I'm not going to demonstrate this here. It's actually on market, but it pre-existed the marketed effect, so I don't feel bad explaining this. But this is used in the electrical tape trick, where you bind fingers together with the electrical tape, and I use it for that. So it's a short little thumb tip so that I can have the tape kind of going around once here right on the tip of my thumb, and then I'm free to pull it out. So that's what I use this for. I actually keep that aside just for that trick. But I thought, boy, that would work really well with a little bit of adhesive tape on it to do a suspension with cards or some other things like that. So anyway, one idea, a thumb tip. If you're looking for more ideas with thumb tips, there's one for you. Suspension using just a small thumb tip or regular thumb tip, a little bit of sticky tape to give you some more security. Kind of a new take on an old idea that is not vanishing a hanky or a silk, right? I always get frustrated. I don't know about you, but whenever I see a new video pop up or a new product out there where someone says, 25 uses for a thumb tip, and half of what they're talking about has to do with vanishing a 6-inch silk, I kind of cringe, because I don't do that. I don't care. You probably don't carry silks, and it's kind of a children's show sort of thing. So I'm always on the lookout for new ideas for thumb tips that are not the typical uses. So if you have an idea for a thumb tip that you would like to see me cover, you can either post a comment in the video below and offer your idea, and I'll see if I can incorporate it into a video, or shoot me an email. Email cfirwin3@gmail.com. CF is in Fred, IRWIN 3@gmail.com. cfirwin3. Shoot me an email, give me an idea, and I'd be happy to cover it if I can find the time. So unorthodox uses for thumb tips. Got a few ideas more that I'll probably post some videos on here soon. So good luck with that. Happy magic.